What is up, YouTube? Hope you guys having a wonderful day. I just realized that nothing is guaranteed in this life. Every day I come into my factory job, I realize that it doesn't matter how fast I work, how quick I move, or how much effort I put in, I'm just going to get the short end of the stick and get laid off, which is what's happening next week for about 7 days. Then I have to come back to this job and act like it's not a big deal. I just couldn't imagine somebody who has bills to pay and they're like one paycheck behind from from being homeless or going bankrupt or getting into debt. And what's crazy to me is that I'm not surprised because who is out here buying $100,000 trucks and these brands and these companies are expecting it to be selling like hotcakes. The only thing that's like keeping me at this job is just that it has full benefits, health, dental insurance. I mean, it's an easy job. Most of the time, I'm just working like 2 or 3 hours out the day. And out of the 40 hours I work, I usually work maybe like 20, 25 hours. That's actually like, a full 8 hours out of the week. So it's really laid back and chill. And I've kind of got to the point where like I don't really care anymore when I work at this job. It's just like I'm ready to get fired. Like why would I want to quit? But when you got, when people depend on you, you got financial goals or you got, you're trying to go somewhere in life. I think a warehouse factory it's just not it. When when I have overtime, I realize that it's not even worth the squeeze. In other words, the return of investment is more detrimental, or it's more it's more it's more deadly than what you're actually getting for at the end of the tunnel. It finally caught up to me after 3 years of working 12-hour shifts consistently. I can't go to sleep 3 a.m. I mean, I can't go to sleep once I get home. I work from 2 to 10. I don't go to sleep till like 3 to 4 a.m. And this has happened to me 2 weeks consistently. It's almost as if like the repercussions are catching up to me. And it's kind of hard to focus on a lot of other things. I kind of feel bad for, the average working person here in America because we're overworked. We pay the most taxes just to get torn up at the end. And somehow you got these old people or these boomers talking about, man, back in my day, we could afford a house. We can do this and we can do that. But they've been paying $15 an hour since the 80s. How I know this is because I've read a lot of boomers who were getting paid pretty good money working at factories and warehouses. And there's the starting pay was like 12 to 15, even 20 if you were like a, supervisor or a team lead. But this is like 2026. That money is like the new minimum wage for the average worker. I mean, yeah, you could, get by, but how much is enough to get by without costing your mental and physical health? Because ask yourself something. Is a couple $1,000s at the end of the month worth the effort that you're putting in? Or is it really more of like a type of like, you just coasting by, you don't really want more out of life? Because I really do feel bad for individuals who don't want to get out the situation where they're at, or who build a bigger hole when it comes to their mental and physical health, and they're usually coping with alcohol, drugs, so and so. I can go on. All I know is that the automotive industry is going downhill. Factories, warehouses will soon be taken over by robots. And right now, it's the trial period. When I say trial period, I mean they're just trying to see how long robots are sustainable until a human has to step up, or they start taking over, and humans have to develop themselves either to become like for example a maintenance tech, a robotics tech, a programmer. Like there's so many jobs to it, and then eventually you'll just be in that same rat race. It's an easy job. You don't want to leave. You have no ambitions of moving up the ladder. You're content with the money you're making, which is usually a couple $1,000s at the end of the month if you get consistent hours. But as life goes, life is unpredictable. You can't predict nothing. You can only set goals and hope that those rainy days don't stay longer than usual. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys later.